found out I had Myasthenia Gravis, or MG, in April 2008. I went to the doctor after I had the flu back in March. The reason I had to go to the doctor after my flu was gone is my left eye had swollen shut and was not opening. The doctors knew to test me for MG because my uncle had it. The doctor thought at first I might have had a brain tumor. The doctor sent me for a CAT scan at the old Peterborough Hospital. When I got the results, my doctor told me to go right to his office and show him the results. And after that, they sent me to Sick Kids, or it's also known as the Hospital for Sick Children, 2 days after the fact. When I went to Sick Kids, I saw a doctor by the name of Appendino. And once I had Dr. Appendino there, they ran a test known as the Tensilon Challenge test. It proved that I had MG 100%. It could not have been anything else with that test. When I was told I had MG, I kind of had a relief, because it's better than some of the other things I was worrying that I might have. I was worried I could have a problem with a list of things. When I had to go to Sick Kids, I was so scared, because I thought it's only for people who are dying. I thought that because I saw all those infomercials for Sick Kids and their fundraisers on TV, and I got scared because I saw some of the people they showed. I had a friend who went there the year before named Samantha, who died on the way there. Once I had been diagnosed with MG, I had what I called the UN of doctors. I had them from all over the world visiting my room. It was just kind of amazing, but yet creepy. The reason they were all in my room was because hardly any kids have it. And plus, it's mostly adults, but it's even rare in adults, so it's even rarer in kids. Some of the doctors might not ever see another case of MG, but they might, so they might need the knowledge of someone else having it. When I first got diagnosed with it, they put me on a little pill called Mestinon. When I started taking Mestinon, I started sweating like one of those trees you see at like the YMCA with all the water gushing off of it. If you can imagine that, that's how much I was sweating. I was going through a lot. But then I kind of got used to it, and it was not working the way the doctors hoped. It was not controlling my MG, though. In August, I had 3 MG crises that landed me in the hospital. The weirdest one was during church one day when I was having trouble walking. That same time, I felt like someone was stabbing like a rusted pipe through my chest and was coming out the other side, and then they're pulling it out and in. By the time I got to the hospital, I sounded like a drunk, but I wasn't drinking. And the right side of my body couldn't feel a thing. They tried testing my reflexes, nothing. They even had my eyes and then tickle the bottom of my foot, didn't feel a thing. I knew they should be, but they weren't. They tried a bunch of different medicines to control my MG. They did not work. And that's why I ended up having to go for IVIG. IVIG stands for Intravenous Immunoglobulin. It takes 20,000 people to donate blood so they can make enough IVIG for one treatment for me. I get it every single month. Some of the side effects I go to are dry throat, vomiting, getting tired, dizziness, my back hurts, my neck hurts, almost all of me hurt. And I get itchy really badly, and I get splotches, and I get a very bad rash. You get the idea, it's no fun. When they look for the vein, they put a tourniquet on my arm that makes all the veins come up so they can find a vein, and then they put the IV needle into my hand. Sometimes they have to redo my vein because it passes one of the veins and doesn't go in. They then take a board and tape it down so it'll not fall out. If I move it the wrong way, it won't pull out. Then they give me a Benadryl drip. The idea for it is so I don't get so many side effects. I still get most of the side effects on the list of side effects. After they're done that, they start the IVIG so that the liquid will enter my body. When it comes into my body, it kind of tickles, but it kind of hurts, because it feels like a feather, but sharp feathers tickling down my arm. I sometimes feel it near my chest, but mostly my arm. If they try and run it too fast, I start vomiting, I'll start getting dizzy, I'll start getting sick. It's just most of the side effects I listed earlier. The nurse has to come in and check to see if my IV is okay and if I have pains. So that way they can sometimes adjust how it is. They take my temperature, my blood pressure, my heart rate. They check my vitals every 15 minutes for the first hour, then every hour after that. It takes between 2 to 4 days, 8 to 12 hours of me being in the hospital per day just to do it. When they are ended for one day, but I have to come back the next day, they keep the board on my arm and take a special thing that locks the needle and IV in its location so I can go home and sleep with the board and needle all the way still in. That way they don't have to poke me again and again and again. If they have to poke me too many times, the veins will scar and they'll have to put a more permanent one in my arm. And I do not want that. That would just be so not right for me. The next day, when I come back, they have to flush the IV a bit, and then they can begin again for that day. And they always begin with a Benadryl drip. Once they take the needle out on the last day, it feels good, but it also can feel hurt. Like it'll hurt a bit. It's also a relieving feeling. The reason it feels relieving is because it's gone and I'm done and I can go home and I'll be happy. The IVIG is not working exactly how they hoped. Dr. Vajar is saying that it's not working yet, so we're going to keep on doing it until it does. I want to tell a story before I sign off. This summer I went to a wedding. It was for one of my close friends, Sarah Mercer. For the beginning of the wedding, I felt fine, I didn't feel sick. But towards the end, I just started to feel sick, and I couldn't walk without someone helping me, and I just felt dizzy, and it just wasn't feeling good in a pretty sight. We had to leave, unfortunately, during the beginning of supper, and we had to go home, and I was very scared that things would get worse. Things that could have gone worse was I just could stop breathing, and then it just collapsed, and then I'm dead. This was before I started my IVIG treatments. I'm hoping afterwards I will have less of these occurrences happening. Thank you guys for praying for me. It makes me very happy that you guys will care that much about me, so thank you. And I keep you guys in my prayers as well.